and that recording will be sent out either later on today or tomorrow. So just keep an eye out for that. And I'm also going to share a survey. So a survey is going to go out with the recording, but I'll share it here in the chat as well. We value your opinion as students and alums here at WGU, so we certainly want to get your feedback. A lot of times when we do these themed weeks, so this is internship week for those that might not be aware, we take your your ideas, thoughts, things that you might be looking for, and try to apply them as much as we can. So certainly provide us with that feedback. We would really appreciate that. Like I said, this is part of Internship Week, where we are focusing in on different companies, organizations that have internship programs. So great opportunities for those that are looking to gain more experience, get their foot in the door. So want to highlight some of those employers that do have some great internship opportunities. Also have some other sessions geared towards internships throughout the week, so keep an eye out for those. You can register for those in Handshake. Certainly would encourage you to do so, and keep an eye out for some of our other themed weeks coming up, with Career Quest happening this fall in September. So a lot of great stuff here coming down the pipeline at WGU in our career office, so keep an eye out for that. There are quite a bit of people, so I certainly want to pass it over to our presenters. The chat is open, so if you do have questions, certainly feel free to post those into the chat, and we'll try to get those answered as quickly as we can. We will have a designated Q&A session though, so if you do have questions, feel free to post those into the chat. We can read those off. And from here, what I will do is I will pass it over to the Stride team. Christy, floor is yours.
Thank you so much, RJ. Thanks for the introduction. A huge thanks for letting us come on here and talk about our intern program at Stride. Welcome everybody for being here, and thanks for introducing yourselves and where you're from. It seems like everybody's from all over the US, so that's pretty exciting. So today we are going to talk about who Stride is. We're going to talk about the program overall, our fall full-time and our our fall part-time and our fall and spring part-time and our summer full-time program. We're going to talk about the experience for our interns, what's new, what's changed. We're going to meet Jared, who was an intern with Stride, who became full-time. So he's going to talk about his experience and a day in the life of an intern, and then we'll leave it open for questions. So welcome. All right, just want to go through and introduce ourselves, if that's okay. Jared, if you don't mind kicking us off.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Jared Butler. I joined Stride as an intern in Treasury and Risk Management last summer. I've since transitioned to full-time.
Excellent. Ramneek?
Hello, everyone. My name is Ramneek Chudasama. I am the talent acquisition partner here at Stride, so I work in the HR department. I've been with the company for a little bit over 6.5 years.
Great, thank you. Stephanie?
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. My name is Stephanie, and I've been with Stride for almost 5 years now. And I joined as a corporate recruiter, and I've had the opportunity to hire for several different departments, whether it's finance, IT, legal, marketing, etc. And thanks for joining.
Excellent. Rachel?
Hey everyone, I'm Rachel Munoz. I'm the data analyst for the talent acquisition team, and I also partner with others to work on different projects across different functions, coordinate a few programs, one being the intern program. I've been with Stride for about 2.5 years now, so welcome.
Excellent. And I'm Christy Brantley. I'm a program manager for University Relations and Internships. I have been with Stride for about 1.5 years. We are also a fully remote company. I meant to have everybody tell you, where they're from. I'm actually in North Carolina, but our team is all over the US as well. So welcome, and we will go from here. Ramneek, if you'll kick us off.
Yes. So like I said, my name is Ramneek. I've been with the company for 6.5 years. just a little bit about Stride. I look at Stride, we are a technology company specializing in education. Our main focus is we've got an e-learning platform that's utilized by our own virtual schools. And we also have virtual and brick and mortar schools in South America and Asia, Europe. They utilize our platform. So that's actually the main business. The company was established in year 2000. The name at the time was K-12. The name was changed to Stride a couple years ago, and the reason was we diversified our portfolio. We acquired multiple companies, so they changed the name to Stride 2 years ago, and all the portfolio companies now fall under the Stride umbrella. Our headquarters are in Reston, Virginia, so we're about half an hour from Washington, D.C. It's a great office, really cool office. If you ever get a chance to come and see the office, I highly recommend. Since it's a virtual company, for example, I live 15-20 minutes away from the office, but I work from home, which is great. And like I said, 6 years ago when I joined the company, we were around, I want to say about $800 million in revenues. Now we are $3.5 billion, which is great. Stock used to be about $20 at the time, and now we're around $130, $135 in that range. We're floating there. So it's been great being Stride, K-12 Stride, and being part of that growth. It's just, I've seen a huge growth with the company, and I love being at Stride, and it's just been wonderful. So if you have any questions towards the end, I'll be more than happy to help you answer those questions. Thank you.
Excellent. Ramnik, if you don't mind talking about the learning journey as well.
Yes. So Stride Schools, we have, acquired multiple companies. So we've got Galvanize, for example. They specialize in data science, data analytics. We've got K-12 schools as well. We've got public and prep schools like Keystone, K-12 Private Academy, etc. And then also college prep, private schools that will help you. For example, there's partnerships with universities, for example, George Washington University in DC. So when you go to a private school, there's a great opportunity to be able to attend those universities as well.
Excellent. All right, the program overview. So as I mentioned before, we have a fully remote paid internship program. In the summer, we do 10 weeks full-time. And in the fall and the spring, we do part-time, really anywhere between 10 and 25 hours, all fully remote, all paid. There's an opportunity to be extended as well and to join a couple of the trimesters. What I love about Stride's program is that our interns work on meaningful projects that will actually make a difference at Stride. Rachel will go over this later, but they also do presentations at the end of the cohort and talk about the difference that they made and what they worked on and what they learned. And I think it's an opportunity to sort of bring it all together and share with the rest of the interns about what everybody is doing. And so I love that it is real life work, an opportunity to network with interns, peers, the employees that you're working with. You have a great mentorship program with hiring leaders and other team members. There's a lot of cross collaboration as well. And yeah, you just get a lot of insights into different areas that you may want to join as you're looking at your own career path. So yeah, that's a little bit of the overview.
All right. So as Christy mentioned, we do have trimesters for our intern roles. We have the summer internship, fall and spring internships. Our summer internships are full-time, remote, paid. Fall and spring are going to be part-time, but they are also paid. The projects for the fall and spring are better aligned to for your academic schedules. Okay, and some of our cohort experience, we are, well, actually, I was going to say we're right smack dab in the middle of our current one, but we are actually coming closer to the end, aren't we? We had some really fun welcome kits that we sent out. We have professional development sessions. We like, coffee and chat with some of our executive leadership. We have career building workshops where we were discussing what's next beyond the internship, career innovation, building your professional brand, stuff that you can really take anywhere that you go. We've also have some engagement and fun because we are a remote company. Sometimes it can be a little complex creating those connections and relationships. And so we have weekly check-ins, we have moderated chats. We did some department spotlights where we invited other people across Stride to come in and just kind of share what they do and how they work cross-functionally. We'll have Intern Appreciation Day, which is coming up next Thursday. We've also implemented a design competition where the interns are creating the design for the t-shirts and backdrops for next year's cohort. And then of course we do have those final presentations. And we do get a few questions about the intern presentations and what they are and just a few examples. So really, bottom line, it's what you did during your internship. What skills did you bring? What skills did you learn? What project did you work on? What was the outcome? It's actually one of the highlights of the intern program because you are presenting to the rest of the interns, the cohort. We invite your hiring leaders, we invite your teams, we invite other members of Stride to come and view these presentations. And it's really a fantastic way to kind of see all of the different roles that we actually do here, or that we have here at Stride.
Excellent. Thanks, Rachel. As you guys heard, summer cohort is pretty busy, being full-time, big projects, a lot of development sessions. Fall and spring is a little bit different. It is a newer program for us, so we're trying to make it the best it can be each and every semester. So there won't be as much during the fall and spring. It will, you're going to have access to the recordings of these development sessions that Rachel talked about. We'll still have kickoffs and orientations. We'll still have an intern teams channel for community and engagement and questions. We're going to implement a sort of virtual co-work time. Being in a remote environment, it's really hard to feel that connection. And so just having the interns together, face-to-face as much as possible, virtually face-to-face is always helpful. So, just a time that people can pop in if they're working and just be together and work and brainstorm. There will be a lighter demo day, not quite the presentations that Rachel was just mentioning, but a time that interns can talk about what they are working on, what they've been doing, how it's affected Stride in all the positive ways, and just anything we can do to support engagement and community, check-ins, wellness challenges, and of course, a lot of opportunity for the interns to get together and connect together without Rachel and I as well. All right, we're going to move on to Jared, who is our guest speaker today, who started as an intern, as I mentioned before, and is now a full-time employee with Stride. We would love to hear your story, Jared.
Yeah, so I graduated from Messiah University in May with a degree in finance and concentration in financial analysis. A fun fact about me is that I recently went on a fly fishing trip in Colorado with my dad. I was in the intern program last summer, so it was a little bit more time than the other cohorts. But today I'm going to be talking about my experience, what an average day looks like, my transition to full-time, and the reasons why I believe I secured the internship and the full-time job. So coming into the internship, I had a general idea of the work I'd be doing, but I was pleasantly surprised by the depth and variety of the projects I was assigned. Alongside the other Treasury intern, I worked on financial forecasting, backtesting, fraud analysis, and more. These projects were truly engaging, and they gave me a lot of hands-on experience and a deeper understanding of corporate finance. One of the really cool parts about it is that we got to present our findings to the Director of Treasury and Risk Management, our manager, the Chief Accounting Officer, and even the CFO. That experience made me feel like the work that we were doing truly mattered. And in fact, some of our recommendations have already been implemented which has been really rewarding. And it showed me that an internship at Stride isn't just about busy work. You can really make a true impact here. And beyond the work itself, one of the best parts working at Stride is the people. Everyone I've met here has been kind, welcoming, and supportive. The team that I was on, the Treasury team, they're great. Everyone works together, supports one another, is committed to improving ourselves, each other, and the systems that we manage. The Director of Treasury and Risk Management, Craig Gross, is an excellent leader. He has a deep knowledge of finance, treasury management, and Stride as a whole. He advocates for his team and encourages learning and productivity while being patient with time-consuming projects. And the senior analyst on the team, Kathy Starr, is also incredibly knowledgeable, skilled, and always willing to help. They do a lot of work. Sometimes it seems like they're doing the work of two people, but they always do it with kindness, humor, and a welcoming attitude that makes the team a great place to be. They've also done a really great job aligning my responsibilities here at Stride with my strengths. I'm skilled in Excel, and my course load in college was geared toward banking, investments, and financial modeling. I've been able to work on projects that utilize my knowledge and skills while allowing me to continue my learning and growth. Additionally, throughout the internship, there were several intern focus calls that Rachel coordinated and led. Each session was engaging and helped me gain a deeper understanding of the company's mission, values, and culture. Two calls that stood out to me the most were the session with the CEO and the final intern presentations. Meeting the CEO was a really unique opportunity to hear directly from leadership and better understand the company's direction and priorities. In the final presentations call, it showed me that my experience at Stride was not an outlier. While not every intern had the chance to present to executives, the work being done across the board was interesting, meaningful, and impactful. And now that you've gained some insight into what the internship can entail overall, let's look at what an average day in the life looks like. I think we're ready for the next slide. There we go. So at 8 o'clock, that's when I start my day. I begin by checking emails and creating a prioritized to-do list, ensuring that I'm doing the higher impact tasks first. And then I'll work on those highly or more important tasks right away. And at around 9 o'clock, once I have it at a good spot, I'll go downstairs, have a little coffee break. I'll bring my laptop and I'll read through a lot of emails and just go through the details, trying to get an understanding of certain processes and how the company runs, how the treasury team operates. And then around 9:15, a lot of the times we'd have a meeting. The other intern and I, we would talk to our boss, and he'd look at our projects, maybe assign us some new projects, or just give us some input on where we should steer the project moving forward. At 10 a.m., that's when we had the intern activities. They're always scheduled, and they're designed to deepen our understanding of the company's culture, value, and operations. And then 11 o'clock, we'd work on some projects. I'd either work independently or collaborate with other Treasury intern on ongoing projects. A lot of times we would problem solve together or try and determine how we can do it the best way possible. Around 12 o'clock, I would take a lunch break. I would get a full hour. And the nice part of being from home, as you guys know, is that during the breaks, you can be productive. I'd like to go downstairs and lift weights, or I could take a short nap if I'm feeling tired, or whatever I felt like I needed to do. And I'd come back for 1 o'clock and do some afternoon collaboration. Sometimes it would be with the other intern or with the manager, and it would give us valuable exposure to the treasury operations and working on the projects. So after that, at 2 o'clock, I take a short break just to recharge. It helps me to maintain focus and productivity for the rest of the day. After that, I would continue my work, and around 3:30, sometimes there would be intern check-ins, and if I wasn't in a meeting with my manager, I would go to one of those and just check in, make sure everything's going well. If I had any questions, it was a good place to ask. And now that I've kind of gone over the internship experience, I'll shed some light on my transition from the internship to full-time. So as my internship was coming to a close, my manager, Craig, expressed interest in having me continue part-time during the academic year and transition to a full-time role after graduation. By early January, the necessary approvals were in place, and I was offered both part-time and full-time roles. After discussing it with Craig and consulting my parents, I was really excited to accept it. I began working a few hours per week during the spring semester, took a short break after graduation to spend time with family and friends, and officially transitioned over to full-time the first business day of June. So my full-time experience has been really great. I'm grateful to be part of a team with supportive colleagues, engaging projects, and the flexibility of remote work. My role, it spans a variety of responsibilities, including data analysis and preparation, like during the internship, some operational initiatives, and then now the recurring daily, weekly, and monthly tasks. I found that one of the most encouraging aspects of working here has been the continuous encouragement to improve our processes and outcomes, striving to improve and be more efficient and grow. And so you might be wondering how I was able to secure both the internship and the full-time role. I believe I was able to secure the internship through a combination of a strong GPA and active involvements in extracurriculars like D3 wrestling, 2 investment clubs, multicultural club, etc. And then I think being from Messiah was also a sizable factor, as my manager had previously hired a Messiah graduate and had a great experience with him. As for the full-time offer, I believe it came down to my performance during the internship. My finance coursework was intentionally rigorous, often requiring us to teach ourselves new concepts, build unfamiliar financial models, and create complex Excel formulas. Our classes were very high-paced, Excel-heavy, and we even competed in the MECC Collegiate Excel Championships, where I placed top 50 in my first competition. I believe my Excel skills, willingness, and ability to learn quickly, and knowledge of investments and banking helped me stand out. I recognize that not everyone here is in finance, but I want to encourage you all to be intentional about developing skills and knowledge related to your own field. And just to wrap up, I truly believe Stride is a great place to work and offers exceptional internship program. I'm incredibly grateful to be here full-time now. I appreciate the opportunity to share my experience with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jared. Thank you for sharing that and talking more about the program. Would love to jump into some open positions we have now, as well as some coming open in the future. So I'll pass it to Stephanie.
All right, so the first position is the product and digital content intern. So this internship specifically supports Tallo, and Tallo is a subsidiary company at Stride that provides career learning resources and programs to students, college grads, and job seekers. So your main responsibilities would include content creation, social media management, conducting user interviews, and platform feature support, where you would have the opportunity to test Tallo's platform and give direct feedback in efforts to improve the Tallo user experience. And then as a virtual community engagement and design intern, you'll help create fun, engaging virtual experiences for K-12 students by designing digital content, planning interactive events, and supporting an online metaverse style community called K-12 Zone. So for K-12 Zone, you can almost imagine a virtual campus where students are able to create their own avatars, interact with one another, play games with one another, interact with the teacher. So it's a really neat platform that you would be helping with creating the engaging experiences for. And then for the creative design intern, you'll be helping with bringing high school courses to life through creating engaging video and audio content. So you'll assist with the on-camera production, the voiceover recordings, and visual storytelling to help make learning more dynamic and fun for the K-12 students. And then for the marketing intern, you'll support a variety of projects that help promote our K-12 powered online schools, including creating and scheduling posts for social media, graphic design, video editing, copywriting, WordPress website support, and monitoring campaign performance. So I will say that this internship is going to be more content creation heavy. And then finally, for the SEO intern, you'll support the digital marketing efforts for our K-12 powered schools by helping improve website visibility through search engines. And you'll also assist with keyword research, on-page optimization, and technical SEO audits. And then for the 3 positions towards the top, all of those are open. And when you review the job posting, it'll indicate whether the position is full-time or part-time. And then for the 2 positions below, they're not open yet. However, I'm the recruiter for both and they are upcoming. So both of these should be opening within the next couple of weeks or so. And both the ones towards the bottom are going to be part-time, so around 20 hours per week and a duration of 6 months.
And then just to piggyback off that, those were a lot of marketing type and creative roles. That's not all we hire for. This is just what's coming open right now or what is already open. We do hire in all areas of corporate finance, just like Jared. Now I'm drawing a blank as to all of them. HR, AI, data, engineering, IT. So just keep an eye out. Just because it's not posted now doesn't mean it won't. We do typically tend to get the most internship postings in the summer, and those usually come out around January, February. But for the fall, we'll definitely have more. I'm just not sure exactly which ones will come open between now and within the next month or so. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Thanks, Stephanie.
Perfect. And then as far as our hiring process goes, you can start off by going to our career learning site and explore our different job opportunities. And then you can use search words and keywords to narrow down your search. And I will be honest, I think our career site is really easy to navigate. So if you type in intern or marketing, you'll have good results. And then there is a page specifically dedicated to internship opportunities as well. And then if it's your first time applying, you'll need to create a Workday account. And if it's your second time applying to Stride, you'll already have a Workday account. You should just be able to log into, making it more easy to apply to different jobs within our organization. And then once you apply, our recruiter will review your application and resume and reach out accordingly. So for most positions, the process really varies for all of our positions, but typically the first step is either going to be a recruiter phone screen or an on-demand interview where you would be recording yourself answering interview questions. So that's what the slide is referring to when it says the hire view. That's referring to our on-demand interviewing portion. So then your phone screen notes or your on-demand interview are then going to be evaluated by the hiring team. And the hiring team will determine the next step and potentially move you to a live interview. So for internships, there are typically 1 to 2 live interviews total, but again, that can vary between positions. And then the hiring team then makes their decision and notifies candidates. And we typically do, once an offer is accepted, we typically do allot 2 to 3 weeks for onboarding as well.
Fantastic.
All right, and for best practices and frequently asked questions, I do want to start off by saying that every interaction that you're having with a hiring team is a chance for you to show who you are and what you bring to the table. So interviews aren't the only time to make an impression. You'll have the opportunity to do so before and after, whether it's through a strong and tailored resume, through thoughtful follow-ups or through expressing genuine interest and engagement throughout the process. So as far as some tips go, we'll start off with the engagement tips. Always make sure you're asking questions. Even if you don't have any questions, come up with some. And I always recommend that you come up with a list of 2 to 5 questions before your interview, so you don't have to come up with them on the spot. And you may not have the chance to ask all 5 questions, but it's good to come in with at least 5, because let's say 2 of 5 of your questions get answered through the natural conversation. Could be good to be prepared with extra questions just in case. And when you're asking questions, you definitely want to showcase your curiosity. So it's always great to get a good idea of the role, the responsibilities, but you can also take it to the next step by asking about the team, the goals of the team, any projects a team is currently working on that you may be involved in, any challenges the teams are facing, or any goals that the team is looking to take on. And then also make sure to take notes so you can refer back to these notes when following up with the team. So for example, if the manager does talk about a project they would want you to be involved in, you could then reference that in your follow-up email and say why you're interested in the project and how you can bring value and contribute to that said project. And with that being said, you also always want to follow up. So you can do that in a few ways. So making sure you're connecting with your recruiter and the hiring team on LinkedIn. So sometimes we'll be meeting with a panel. It's good to connect with everyone you're meeting on that panel, and always follow up with an email after you meet with a recruiter or a hiring member as well, because that email can really show professionalism and that you value the company's time. It reinforces your interest and allows you to add anything you might have not had the chance to add during an interview. It keeps you on the top of your mind, helps the team remember you, which is especially helpful when hiring teams are interviewing so many candidates at times. And it also opens the door for continued communication. So another thing I want to add, so let's say that you haven't heard from the team in 5 days. I also recommend that you follow up with the teams and say something along the lines of, hey, it's been a few days, just wanted to check in and see where things are. And if you followed up with them originally, you'll already have a thread to continue off from. And then as far as the application strategy goes, when applying, it's always important to make sure that you are applying to roles that truly do align with your skills and interests. And creating a summary on your resume is a great way to express what some of your goals and interests are. And the goals and interests that you are listing should apply to the role that you are applying to. And if you need to tailor your resume based off of the role you're applying to as well, that's always okay. In fact, that can be recommended, especially if the roles that you're applying to vary. And you also do want to make sure that you have clear formatting, there aren't any typos. I am able to clearly understand what you did in a specific role or in a specific project, while also staying concise as well. And making sure you're adding as many relevant projects, coursework, part-time jobs, full-time jobs as possible. Because let's say you don't have the exact professional experience I'm looking for, which can often happen, especially for interns, as you guys are still developing in those areas. But let's say I see that you had a lot of involvement. You were on the dean's list. You were a leader in a club, for example. That can show me some soft skills that you may not see from professional experience. So for example, that can tell me that you are a hard worker, you like taking on different tasks, you can handle different priorities, you're able to learn quickly, etc. So always make sure you're listing as many involvements as possible. And before you are ever interviewing or meeting with a company representative, it's also a great advantage to do research on the company so you can help be better prepared, ask more thoughtful questions. It also gives you the chance to see if the company aligns with what you're looking for. And then finally, if you end up finding out that you don't get the position, always ask your recruiter for feedback so you can apply and use that for future interviews.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thanks, Stephanie, for giving some of those best practices and tidbits. That is the end of our presentation. I know there's a lot of questions coming open. I know RJ said he'd help us keep an eye out. Hopefully it gave you guys a good idea of what our program entails, what to expect, how to stand out. There's definitely an opportunity to become full-time after your internship as well. So we'd love to hear your questions. RJ, I can go back and look. I don't know if you wanted to or not. I know we spoke about this briefly.
I know there was a lot of questions on just different internship opportunities, and what I would probably tell people is continue to check the page where all of those open internship opportunities are, and continue to look. I know, Chris, you had said some are potentially coming down the pipeline. That people can keep an eye out for. Is there a way to set like alerts for those? Does anybody know if there's a capability for that? That might be helpful to kind of to have that available if any open internships that people are interested in, so that way they can apply right away and get those applications in.
Yeah, thank you, RJ. Actually, I think Stephanie or Ramneek, do you know if they can do alerts? You can? Okay.
Yeah, we have a talent community that you're able to join. I will include the link in the chat. I just need to find it real quick. But if you do sign up, you're able to select what your interests are, the fields you're interested in, and then you will get alerts based off of the interests that you selected. So it's called the Stride Talent Community, and I will send the link for that very shortly.
Thank you. Yeah, I actually have a link that's going to, I've posted a couple times. I'm going to post it one more time, maybe a couple times, but it's the link to join the talent community, how to follow us on LinkedIn, open positions for our internships and our academic, and a few other things just to explore Stride and explore the different positions that we have. Keep an eye on that link itself. Definitely join the talent community for those alerts. Thank you.
Another one that I've seen a few, as far as the internship opportunities, when they're posted, how long do those generally stay open for? Is it rolling until the position is filled? Is there an allotted time that those are open for?
It depends. For me, I like to keep the positions open at least for a few weeks. We want to make sure that we get a lot of applicants, a lot of good applicants. If, let's say, within that time frame that we find a candidate that we're looking to hire, I will unpost direct, because I do not want to folks have applied if we've decided to hire someone. But there are times we'll have the requisitions open for even for a month.
Awesome. Another one, how and this, I'll make it a little bit more general than the question that was posted into the chat, but how can people stand out during the application process? Is there something that you all might specifically look for? Maybe somebody has done in the past that you were like, wow, that really jumped out to me as far as an applicant. Would love to kind of hear your perspective on what are some different ways people can stand out during the process, and then even as they get into, let's say, the interview process, what are some different things that they can do? I know one of you had mentioned, I forget who it was, as far as like coming with some set questions, but anything else that really jumps out to you?
Stephanie?
Yeah, so I would say, in addition to that, really expressing interest by reaching out to a company representative if that's available. So if you can find one on LinkedIn or Handshake, it could always be an extra advantage to reach out to someone to really put your name out there. And then as far as when you're interviewing, I would say, like we mentioned, and showing interest keeping yourself engaged, asking questions, doing research on the company, being involved in areas that could really benefit you in the internship. Being involved in different clubs, different things in your community, volunteering, as that can really show your work ethic in an internship. So I don't know if that's super helpful. Remy, do you have any others you'd like to add?
I was going to add to what you said. Those are all great points, Stephanie. I would say try to have your resume one-page resume. There's times you will have 2, 3, 4-page resumes. It's not a good idea. Try to condense that. The experiences, for example, your job experience. If you have done maybe a previous internship or a summer job, try to add the one that's relevant to this position. So that's one. Add what Stephanie said, hey, add your extracurricular stuff. For example, if you are an Eagle Scout, definitely put that, because that's a huge, huge thing to achieve. So things like that we look for, so that's what I would say. But mostly having a one-pager resume and try to condense as much as you can in there. And if you could, try to separate, for example, your skills, technical skills, you are proficient in Excel, or, some certifications you've had, add those as well.
Awesome. I saw a few questions in the chat if the session was being recorded. Yes, this is being recorded, and it will be sent out either later on today or tomorrow morning. So keep an eye out for that. Also attached to that is just a quick questionnaire. I'm actually going to post the questionnaire into the chat now so that people do have that. But yes, this session is being recorded. I did see a question as far as compensation for the internships. Is there a typical range for the internships? And I know that depending on the specific internships, is it kind of one set thing?
Our range for internship program or any roles that we have, I would say they range from anywhere from $16 to $26. That would be the range, depending on the type of intern position that you're applying for. Stephanie, is that the range that you have open roles for? Is that?
I want to say, for me personally, the maximum I've seen is 22. So usually for college level internships, it's $18 to $22 an hour. But that's been my experience. So Remnick has had different roles than me. But yeah, usually 18 to 22. And there's usually a range listed in the job description as well that you can refer to.
Yes. RJ, there's a few questions at the top. I don't know. I know that Rachel has a specific question. I don't see Rachel on my screen, but do you mind if I read it?
Absolutely.
Yes, Rachel, not to put you on the spot. So my main question would be for Rachel, as an aspiring data analyst, what types of projects are data analysts used for in the talent acquisition role? I'll stop there. This is the second question.
Gosh, I feel like I'm actually pulled into quite a few different projects. We had a couple of platform integrations, and I'm sorry, my camera keeps going in and out, but we had a couple of platform integrations, and so a lot of my projects are pulling some of the reports from multiple different platforms and then piecing them together and then adding those to like a PowerPoint presentation deck and presenting those to senior leadership or different stakeholders. Excel is also one of the I'm also an Excel enthusiast, just like Jared. So does that help answer?
That's great. Thank you, Rachel.
Of course.
What else do we have, RJ? Do you see anything?
And this is a big thing here at WGU, especially with our School of IT degree programs, but different professional certifications. Those are actually built right into our curriculum. So I don't know, is that something that you all look at for, let's say, some of those IT type of internship roles, some of those professional certifications? Is that something that you all look at, and is that relevant to some of the roles?
I would say, based off of what I've seen in the past, certifications have been nice to have because oftentimes in internships, we're looking for folks who are still learning, getting experiences, developing in certain areas. And we don't expect you to be developed in all these areas and have certifications and everything. So I've never hired an intern where a certification was required. However, um, it can definitely be a great benefit to have, or a great additional or add on to have, in addition to what the experience you already have. But it's not been required for any of the roles I've hired for, at least. How about you, Ramneek?
Same for me. But
Yeah.
just if you go above and beyond and get a certification on your own, it looks great on the resume that, hey, this person um, is interested in um, learning a little more than what's required.
Correct.
Here's the career advisor coming out of me. Those certifications, put them up at the top of your resume, up at the top. So just throwing that out there to people. Any other questions that people might have? I'll give people a second. Just a reminder, the session is being recorded. That will be sent out also with that questionnaire that I posted into the chat. But wanted to give people an opportunity to ask any additional questions. I'm looking through the chat now. Ryan had a question. Do those certifications equate to X amount of years of experience towards positions/internships that people would be applying for?
I would say no, Stephanie. I don't know what because they're not required for a role.
Yeah.
So I would say no. I don't know about your position, Stephanie.
Yeah, it's a tough one. So I can use my SCM intern as an example. I hired this SCM intern last summer, and they weren't in school. They weren't attending an undergrad program. I think they were planning to, but their time financial situation wouldn't allow them to at that moment. So they had a few certifications in SEM and Google Analytics, for example. So we were able to leverage those in lieu of being enrolled in an undergrad degree program. So in some cases, potentially, but not technically. But yes, if you're certified in certain areas, it's definitely something we'll take into consideration when considering your total years of experience. I hope that helps. Sorry.
No, that was great. And Colin, I think that answered your question as well. It Now, as far as, let's say, individuals, Kendra, I see your question for design roles. Is there an opportunity to share project examples or portfolios during the application process?
Absolutely. In fact, we hope to review as many portfolios as possible when hiring any design roles. And if you are a designer, or if you do have a portfolio, I always recommend linking it directly in your resume so it's easily accessible for the hiring team. But yes, absolutely. For design related roles, we'll typically ask you to provide a portfolio or work samples. And for some positions, including the marketing position I discussed a few slides back, you also will share one of your work samples during the interview as well.
And I see a lot of questions coming in just like on your resume, what to include on there. We have a fantastic service here at WGU where you can actually connect with one of our career advisors and work through your resume. So that might be something, especially if you're interested in these specific internships that Stride is offering, tailoring your resume to those specific internship opportunities. So working with one of the career advisors to tailor the resume towards that specific role, and speaking to them on, hey, you know, advice that they might recommend, what's important, what might not be as important. So that's something I would encourage people. It's free to connect with our career advising team. So that's something I would probably recommend to people if you're wondering, hey, I'm not sure what to kind of put on my resume. Opportunity there to really tailor it towards the specific roles that you're applying for. I wanted to give the Stride team an opportunity. Any closing remarks on your end that maybe you wanted to wrap up with? Was there anything specific that you all wanted to share that maybe we didn't get to? Any questions that maybe weren't asked that you feel like, hey, this is probably something you all should be asking during this Q&A? But wanted to give you all the opportunity to kind of wrap things up with your thoughts.
Thank you, RJ. Yeah, I think the questions are fantastic. I'm not thinking of any off the top of my head that haven't been answered. So thank you guys for all the great questions. We're looking forward to hopefully seeing your applications on the internship roles that are posted. You know, just to reiterate again, keep an eye out on the careers page, join the talent community, apply when these positions are posted. Be patient. It's not like we're going to have 50 tomorrow. It's definitely a slower posting over the next month or so, but you know, would love for you to follow us on social media and connect with us on LinkedIn. Yeah, thanks for being here, and thanks to the panelists for sharing all the insights. That's it for me. Anybody else have anything to add from the Stride team? No. All right.
I just thank you to the Stride team for jumping in and sharing your insights, opportunities that you all have. A quick snapshot. Jared, thank you for kind of sharing what your experience was going through the internship program. I certainly find those to probably be the most valuable, because here's somebody that's gone through it and lived it. So we certainly appreciate your insight. But yes, thank you to the Stride team for jumping in and sharing your insights with our community here at WGU. We certainly appreciate it. Just a reminder to everybody, session was recorded, so that will be sent out. Certainly make sure you set some of those reminders on their job page. If we set those alerts, so when those opportunities do open up, you can really jump at those, take the recommendations that the Stride team shared and take advantage of that. And then I know people have been sharing their LinkedIn, and I would encourage people to build out your professional network. Utilize not only this opportunity to learn a little bit more about Stride, their opportunities, but connecting with each other to really build out your professional network. And keep an eye out for more opportunities coming down the pipeline. Like I said, this is one session for internship week. So if you're interested in internship opportunities, make sure you're taking a look at some of the other companies, organizations that are also offering different internship programs. But thank you everyone for joining us today. We will wrap up, and thank you again, Stride team, for jumping in. We certainly appreciate it, and we will certainly have to do this again in the future.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye.